Hi, my name is Chris Bangle. I am the managing director of Chris Bangle Associates. I'm actually one of the founders as well of Inanimatti Inc, and that's the holding company for all the IP of Arky Arch and Inanimatti, which is the world in which Arky lives. I'm an American living here in Italy where we have our company, and this is where we have become a design consultancy specialized in seeing things a bit differently. Probably a car design consultancy that you would normally think of looks at cars and automobiles, and car design is one thing, right? It's just about four wheels that you get in and drive, and it should look sexy or whatever. But my career understanding of car design is not about just an automobile. That car design is really concerned with putting personality and character into something we make, to the point where people even say, hey, that thing is me. You know, when you buy a car that's really cool, it's because it reflects you. That thing is me. About 10 years ago, we began to look at all these different ways that car design could actually be used in a different manner if applied in that way. We've done everything in this studio, from cell phones to robots to bottles to spaceship interiors to super yachts. But if you approach everything that a design consultancy does with this thought process of where's the personality, where's the character, do I see it? Can I see it without the, putting an anthropomorphic face or clothes on it and things like this? That research took us into the world of cartoons. And so this is basically how Arky was born. I drew a giant Roman triumphal arch that I saw in Croatia on holiday. I drew it walking, and the team saw it and said, that's really cool, let's make a sculpture out of that. And it takes a little while to do that. We made it out of cement, it was kind of big, it's 4 meters tall. And in that time, we're looking at this big arch walking. We were saying to ourselves, what's his name? Where's he going? Who's his friends? Why is he going somewhere? And especially because we decided to put in the top of it an inscription in Latin that reads, every arch must earn its triumphs. So for a triumphal arch to have to go out and earn its triumphs is totally different than they get applied to it as a sculpture. And that, I think, was really the kickoff for an adventure idea. That how does a triumphal arch earn a triumph? And for Arky, his whole story is about what is a triumph. He has to learn that. So around Arky and that very simple start with those questions and the idea of the Inanimati, we began to create a world, actually, to be fair, a universe. Because we had to go to the very beginning, the origins of the universe, to try and understand why they are there, wherever they live, and they, an egg beater dances around, and we here in our world, an egg beater, just beats eggs, right? It's kind of doesn't do anything. So how's that possible? We had to go all the way back to the origin of the universe to figure out how this works. And we didn't do it like a normal story of magic would do, where, people make something and then the blue fairy comes and bang, turns it alive. And we didn't do it with superpowers that you just don't explain. We tried to do it from a basic concept of the physics itself of the universe so that it logically made sense. That's how it would be. And so we created this really, actually this big universe of Arky's IP is basically built all around the narrative you can build out of this single idea. If you take something like a little coffee maker and give it a little bit of gesture, suddenly the coffee maker, in fact, this is kind of a study we did for Miss Mocha, one of our characters, suddenly it's alive. This coffee maker is definitely trying to tell this coffee maker something. Right? If you apply that to almost everything you see in the world, it's all alive. And this is why we think kids are really going to like this, because it opens up a fantasy world that kids know from when they start playing with, they play with forks and turn them into characters, or they play with a folding carpenter rule and it becomes a tool. Kids already have that imagination. There's always a tendency to want to anthropomorphize things, add clothes, add eyes, add hands and mouths. And even worse, to use these things they call gender indicators to say, okay, it's the identical character, but we just put a ribbon in its hair and we high heel shoes and it's a bling and abracadabra, it's a female version. This really, we think, very shallow. It's almost demeaning to the idea of what is a personality, which is a female personality as opposed to a male. That doesn't seem right at all. There should be other ways to do it. And some of them belong to the basic gesture of the character, but often they belong to how we interpret a personality through people we know. So we find them in it without having to paste all those things onto it. And I think that's been one of the great joys of this trip we've been on. We have a tower character named Guelfi, which we basically derived from a nearby tower. It's a giant tower here from medieval times called Torre de Guelfi. And for me, all the time when we were writing this character in the story, it was a male character. Oh, you know, warrior character, really cool, right? And about a year into it, my team said, you realize that Guelfi's a female character. You caught that, right? No. Why? Well, because in Italian, you know, la torre, you know, like female character. Really? Okay, let's rethink this. And in rethinking it, you suddenly realize we've taken away so much potential from this character by previously prescribing it to one particular type of identity. If we just let the character express itself, you know, what it wanted us to be, suddenly all these possibilities opened up, and which was a really good lesson for us too. I mean, I think that's how kids see the world anyway. They want to let the things have their personality. I think Arky's got a great story to tell. First of all, I mean, this is about your average kid. He's got problems, okay? He doesn't do well in school, trying to live up to the expectations that everybody's trying to put on him. And triumphal arch, got to go out there and earn those triumphs. He's doing his best. He's really trying hard. And he's got friends that help him. And that's another important part that I think makes this very understandable and quickly identifiable. But what we would like to have come through is we would like to have people realize that, you know, it's your purpose in life that's very important, the why of your life, not just how, but the why of it that lies at the root of all things. And so purpose for these characters is very, very important. We would like them to understand that, you know, changing your point of view is fundamental to finding happiness and joy and being a full person. It's when we keep a point of view too narrow that we exclude possibilities, we create us and thems. It's changing your point of view that's very important. And finally, that I think this was a crucial moment in understanding this. We did not want to get sucked into the trap of, okay, we will have an adventure story where clever violence beats stupid violence. We don't want that at all. We want kids to understand there's an alternative world where even art can defeat a world that is bent on aggression. And that idea that, you know, art actually, the more subjective, humanistic sides to the world can actually be the superior ones. You know, in a world where maybe there's too many other messages being thrown at kids which are not those messages, we think this is a really good one. We're going to Con with Arky. We'll take all the fun stuff with us, and we have all the, you know, prerequisites, the teaser video and Bible and all script and all that stuff. But I think most importantly, we want to find people who want to be excited by Arky and see the potential in Arky that we see, and could be partners with us on this voyage. I mean, this is an incredible adventure just for us. The 10 years we've been working on Arky are not 10 years of frustration of not having a product to sell. They've been 10 years of trying to understand an extremely rich and complicated world that offers so many opportunities and get it down to the one simple message that we think it can start with in a bigger audience, which we think we do. We think we have it in a kind of a nice, simpler form. But still, all that richness is there to share, and that's what we'd like to do at MIPCOM. Yeah, we'll be in Con with Eric Rollman, who's like the super well-known guru in that world, in your world, which is, again, not where I come from, so I can only be amazed by this stuff. And he loves us, and it's wonderful because he was probably one of the very first people that we ever approached with Arky to see it instantaneously from something new, different, offered a way into engaging kids, not through turning off their heads, but by turning on their heads. And I think he's truly been a believer from day one and been with us a long time on this trip too. So a lot of credit to Eric on how this message has been put together in a format that is, I hope, quickly understandable by the people we meet. And I'm really happy to be there with him.
Arky Arch is set in a world that can inspire conversations on playgrounds and in homes everywhere. It's an adventure filled with heart, hope, humor, and purpose. Not only does the unique approach to character design optimize the medium, but it's also an unusual canvas for imagination. To take the everyday things around us and bring them to life, just as they are, that is the essence of play. The series touches on themes of purpose, change, and defining triumph. I think on each of our own unique journeys of self-discovery, we find that our purpose, over time, continues to change as we grow and experience the world. I know I'm doing that now with my daughter growing up and me facing a redefining of my purpose for the coming years. I've been working closely with Chris and his team for a while preparing for this MIPCOM market. The vision is clear, inspired, and contagious. I trust my gut and my heart, and they both say this is special and deserves to be enjoyed by kids and families everywhere.
Probably to be successful in the world of animation for television, etc., you have to have absolutely identifiable characters who are unforgettable, unique, and I do believe that the Arky and his friends, the world of the Inanimatti, they bring that across. But I believe most importantly, they need a story that people can see immediately, that has something that touches them. There's a reason why they should care. And Arky's story to us has always been that. The people we've shared it with have liked it like that and said that they love that factor of it came across. And I hope that's what people have a chance to see at MIPCOM. Okay, ciao everybody. This is really great. I'm looking forward at MIPCOM. We're going to see you, and thank you Licensing Magazine for this chance. It's really wonderful to have you guys as fans on board. This is really exciting. Thank you.